declassified the information and put the bullet in
Oh shit, boy.
aliens.
You about to go for real?
Dude, I'm
Alright,
about to
hold
go
on.
hard in this.
Let me use the restroom real quick. I just went live. Tell me if you get the notification for it.
Okay. I have not gotten it yet.
I haven't either, so I'm not even sure if it's like officially live yet.
Yo, why is everything out of stock? This shit's pissing me off. I'm just trying to get some PC accessories, bro. Yo, why is
we live,
stock?
David?
This shit's
We live, David?
Dude, there's people in here. Crap, I gotta pull this up now. I've been looking at PC stuff this entire time.
Okay, so I didn't get the notification for YouTube again, but I got the notification for Twitch. David, did you get the notification for YouTube?
It's not showing you're live unless I'm. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, but still no notification. I don't know why.
Yeah, in case anybody was wondering, I am not Nathan.
Did you get the notification?
No, I did not, but David said it popped up for him. Maybe I did. Oh, I just got it.
I have not been getting it. Maybe I don't get it.
Oh, Mason guy just started streaming like instantaneously right when I got all the notifications.
Going live, dude. Kim Jong-un? Is he alive? What? UFO?
Are aliens taking over?
Are aliens taking over? Make sure you join the chat. Going live, dude. Alright, here we go. You're live? What? UFO?
About to go crazy, man.
Okay, I need to use the restroom before we start. And then I will be right back.
I'll keep chat entertained. Yo, anybody got any questions for me before I go off?
We're gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it on this screen for now.
Yeah, it's
that way.
I'll talk to somebody through the no screen.
Alright, I'll be right back.
Alright, what's up, boys? Yo, I'm trying to find. Oh, there it is. Entertain you? Alright, you got any questions? Because we're about to pop off on some. Are aliens real? Well. Oh, you can't even see me. That's very upsetting. Forgot about that. Alright, so basically, for the next 30 minutes, we at least will be talking about, did Kim Jong-un die in surgery? Who's taking over? And are aliens real? And if so, did they bring the coronavirus? Most underrated snack food? Twizzlers, bro. Twizzlers smack. I love me some Twizzlers. I could definitely eat some Twizzlers right now.
Ooh, that's true. Okay, I'm back.
Most underrated snack food.
Alright, tell me how you like this transition scene.
I'm watching. It's gonna be delayed.
Yes, it will. You're gonna tell me how you like it. Oh, baby. Ooh, we live. We live,
Let's go,
baby.
boys.
Tell me what you think about that. Twizzlers are gross. Dell,
Twizzlers
just
are
jump
amazing.
in the chat and then just say Twizzlers are gross. You're like, that's
oh,
dishonor
there you
right
go,
there.
Dylan. I just saw it.
You like
I
that?
I think that is not a snack food. Okay. All right. Well, if you're gonna go snack food, then I'd say Cheez-Its. Cheez-Its is a snack food that I could smack.
I like little Cliff bars are pretty good. Cliff bars
Dude,
are like
Cliff bars are really good. But is it go off time?
It's go off time.
Yo, Kim Jong-un, man died. There would.
Okay, all right. We're jumping right in. I thought we were gonna start with the aliens, but nah, dude. We're starting here with Kim Jong-un. All right.
That man disappeared off the face of the earth.
Mason started on time. I got such a nice welcome. Yeah, no. So all right. So the guest speaker that's going to be going on tonight, his name is Nathan. He won't be here until 9. So I figured why not go ahead and start a little bit later. Dell, you don't follow me on Twitter, so I posted a Twitter message and let everybody else know. So sorry you didn't get that.
I don't check Twitter or else I'd know.
Yeah, I texted you.
Yeah, you right.
Personally texted you. So
dude, okay, hold on. Okay, yeah, you go ahead and then I got it. Yeah, no, for sure. Okay, if his sister, dude, what happens if his sister becomes, what is that?
The dictator, whatever they are.
Dictator, yeah, I guess. A dictatress.
Yeah, dictatress. What's up, Jordan? Welcome.
What if she just starts dropping bombs on her? What if Kim Jong Un was the very what is
Yeah,
that?
she was in charge of propaganda, wasn't she? She was in charge of
Was
like a
she?
yeah.
Dude,
So
I didn't even Nikki know
got
she was real.
this is just fake, bro. This is all a
Dude,
cover story right
I
now.
didn't know there was like somebody in line.
Have you seen some of the memes like for it? Like I'm not making fun.
No,
Like is
dude.
someone dying? Like that's tragic. No matter who they are,
Unless it's Kim Jong
I'm
Un.
not gonna
Come
say
on,
shit.
man.
But have you seen the gulag meme?
Oh yes, dude, I love those. Those are so great. I love every bit of those.
Okay, hold on.
Those are
I'm
so
pulling this up.
funny.
Kayla did send this to me. Hold on one second. Uh, we gotta go. What is it? General chat. Where is it? No. Promote yourself
You
about.
gotta go to Discord.
It's meme
Is it a
bank.
Discord thing?
Yes. Boom. Kim Jong Un when he finds out who he's 1v1ing in the gulag.
Dude, it's so great.
Did you
You're
see it?
going, yeah.
Oh, that's funny, dude. It's Kobe Bryant. Yo, whoever made that is savage. I'm telling you.
Oh, that's wild.
Oh my gosh, dude. The memes for this. Have you seen the memes where they're like holding his like body up and they're like pretending he's still alive?
No, what? That's weird.
Yeah, it's just people like faking it. Like obviously all of these pictures are fabricated, but it's just like
He's
they're
like a puppet.
yeah, there's like a Drake and Josh one where they're holding up like this little girl that like Megan's friend or something like that. And so they're like referencing to that. What is it, gulag? All right, so in Call of Duty Battle Royale, when you die, you get sent to the gulag. And when you get sent to the gulag, you have a chance to be revived if you win your 1v1. So when you die and another person dies, you both compete in a 1v1 to see who returns to the battlefield. And so that's what the gulag is. That's why it's
Who's
funny.
got the bigger balls?
Yeah. That's why it's funny. That's why I thought it was kind of hilarious about that.
Dude, things are about to pop off.
Yeah.
Yo,
So I,
so with Kim Jong Un dead, is Trump gonna have to make nice with whoever this next in line is?
Dylan just had a
Uh-oh.
gamer gasm.
Yeah, he did.
Pretty much. You know,
Ooh, gulag.
well that was the thing. Like Nikki was reading up about how what's his sister's name?
Dude, I have no idea. I haven't
Yeah.
paid attention. I just saw that he died in like, or suspectively, I don't know how you would say that. Anyway,
What's his
he's
sister's
dead.
Kim Yo Jong? Kim Yo Jong? That's his sister's. But basically, uh they were Nikki was reading like an article about her and how she's like in charge of propaganda. So she was thinking that this woman is probably more savage than Kim is.
For sure. You ever watch The Interview?
Of course.
Dude,
Seen it so
the
many
girl was
times, bro.
crazy. It all makes sense.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. Things are about to pop off.
Trump is going to have to seduce her, put an American baby in that belly, and that baby grows up to be the dictator of North Korea. Big brain place. Oh my gosh. So
Jesus.
the other scary thing is, I was reading an article right actually before this podcast.
Who is Dan Rather? I feel dumb.
I'm not sure either, but I was reading an article right before the podcast, and they were talking about how for China this could be a strategic move, like a strategic power play, because they can choose. They're not really sure what they're going to do as far as like power, but there's speculation that China might make a move on North Korea during this time.
Might as well. But also we should as a country. If
Well,
China does, then that's bad for us.
right, and so
Yeah.
that's more speculation towards World War III.
Nah, dude, if World War III already didn't happen, it's not gonna happen now.
I don't know about that, man.
I don't know, man. That seems crazy.
Wouldn't it just have an all-out war during our lifetime?
I think there's too many things at stake for that to happen again.
Really?
Yeah, because
Or now
like
China's trying to get
we're
involved?
not we're not gonna lose, knock on some wood. We're not gonna lose. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Back to back to back.
I don't know,
This
man.
is facts.
Russia and China are kind of scary. If they teamed up, dude.
What is Putin gonna do?
Uh, dude, Russia and China are freaking terrifying. I would not want to go up it. Like individually, yeah, we could probably take each of those countries, but together,
I got that patriotism,
oof.
faith.
Oh yeah,
Boom, baby.
oh
I'll
yeah,
go
go
to
right
war.
into Patriot.
Yeah, I'll go to war. If World War III, I'm signing my ass up. Better than going
I
to
don't know really what this
school,
means though for
struggling.
in terms of what we should be doing like as a response or retaliation. Like, should we be pressing? Should we? Oh, I just got yours. I just got. Oh, sweet. Is he here,
Is whom here?
Nathan? So he just said, I just got your Zoom. Okay, cool. So he probably has a Zoom meeting invite. See you
All
in
right,
30. Okay, perfect.
nice.
Um, but yeah, I don't really know what this means. Like, what happens if he is dead? Is there going to be a power struggle? Because right now they're
South
thinking
Korea
about.
takes over North Korea. Boom.
Well, here's the thing. South Korea has also, sort of, supported the fact that he's still alive, right? So
Yeah,
I'm confused on where South Korea stands.
I think best case scenario, South Korea and North Korea are just Korea, and then boom, they go together. Call it a day. Nobody takes over anyone. We're all good.
That's it. End of story.
Exactly, because
No,
North
then
or
we have to
South
do
Korea
something
is
about them
better off.
aliens, dude.
Okay, yeah, no, hold up. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Watch some Joe Rogan podcasts. Watch Bob Lazar. Watch literally watch the one that was a week ago from all these declassified things. This is crazy. We got aliens roaming around, things that are impossible to do right now. Things are happening. Oh, and then on top of that, y'all want to know another conspiracy?
Yes.
Aliens brought the corona.
Really? Is that what we're going to now?
Aliens brought the corona.
That's where it is.
Yeah, we all wanted to put it on China. We're like, nope. Aliens were like, yeah, we got this crazy thing called eating bats. Yeah, let's drop that in.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Strickland's in-depth analysis. Nathan actually was on the podcast a while back, Jordan. She Nathan is a good buddy of mine that I went to college with. And he now lives in California. But he's a video films producer and everything like that. A Chinese journalist reported today that Kim was dead. Uh Take that how you will. China's news isn't exactly honest all the time.
It's because,
About Rona, does that make it space AIDS?
okay, first of all, Chinese journalists are really just Chinese government. Second of all,
Right.
aliens did bring corona. There's like a
Well,
50% chance. Third of all, if
50%
it,
chance, that's what we're going with now? It's that
yeah,
high? Okay.
yeah, it's 50%.
Either they're
Third of
real or they're
all,
not right now.
if aliens brought corona, does it make it space AIDS? No, because there's no,
Because they did not have sexual relations
yeah,
with that woman.
there's no sexual relations with that human, Homo sapiens. You know what I'm saying? It,
Interspecies
it's not
mingling.
space AIDS. Space AIDS will come. Aliens will bring that too.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows?
Oh, yeah. There's some weird humans out there for
Maybe
sure.
Elon Musk is an alien.
Yeah, he's the developer of coronavirus. You heard it first, guys. So,
Breaking news.
breaking news. Space AIDS, though. um, yeah, like I'm confused on why the Pentagon decided to release that footage now. You
Why?
know?
Because we're so caught up in the corona. Nobody cares about aliens.
Yeah,
Our
honestly,
pea-sized minds. Nobody cares about it. Like that's huge. Like,
Strickland actually worked at Area 51 before he founded about the podcast. Yeah, actually, the
dude.
the Area 51 raid was his idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
once us older
Started it
now. Yeah.
right here.
So
Anyway, in Bob Lazar used to work for Area 51. And there are literally alien spacecrafts inside of hangars in the middle of Arizona that nobody can get to. And he's taken pictures and he got fired for his job. The man doesn't exist anymore because he tried to mess with this and gave too much information. He does not have a birth record. He does not have any evidence that he worked for the government, any of the schools that he went to, the lab he used to work in. He literally does not exist. The government they made this man disappear. So he went on Joe Rogan's podcast and was talking crazy. It was awesome.
Well, I mean, Alex Jones has been saying this stuff for years, but no
Yeah,
one
but
no one
Alex
believes Alex
Jones,
Jones,
Alex
right?
Jones is off the deep end. That man just spews nonsense.
Did you see this dude tagged you in the post? Did you see this dude pulled up in a protest in a tank?
I wouldn't doubt it. That man's crazy.
That man pulled up to a protest in a tank, in a coronavirus protest. Who the hell does that?
Did he try to run some people over? I wouldn't be surprised.
I have no idea, dude. I mean, where
I
the
don't
hell do you just
I
get
don't
tanked,
understand.
bro?
I don't understand what goes through his head ever. That's crazy.
I think they released it now because they know people are worrying about other stuff. They wanted to get swept under the rug. The thing is,
Exactly.
they didn't have to release it though, right? So they're just throwing it out there, trying to distract us. Yeah,
Well,
that's what I'm more. That's what
in
I'm
all
more like
fairness, they
confused
they
about.
a lot of the photo and video proof of it was already released. This isn't new stuff. There's already been pictures. There's already been a bunch of stuff about it. This is just the actual flight footage,
Right.
and the it being declassified doesn't really do anything because it was already known about. It was already talked about. There's been countless other incidences with the Navy for finding aircraft like this.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's the first official release, right? Like the government hasn't come out and said anything about this beforehand. Like they haven't talked about aliens. It's
No,
just been
yeah,
completely swept under the rug. But for
yeah.
them to come
This is a
out and
perfect
say,
time for them.
yeah, for them to come out and say hey, this is actual footage of a UFO. We're not sure what this is. We're pretty sure it's an unidentified flying object. That's for me. I'm just like, well, what are you trying to hide here? Like, why are you telling us this now? Like after all these years, what are you trying to say? You know?
Maybe trying to switch from Corona to aliens. Got to have a bigger threat.
Yeah. So it's like I agree with Jordan. Like, what are they trying to hide? What are they trying to distract us from?
Dude, everything's honestly, I think the whole coronavirus thing was to hide something. I think this alien thing is meant to hide something. I think it's building things up so far that people just can't think. It's
Really?
that's what I'm thinking.
Conspiracy theories, guys.
Conspiracy.
Dude,
There's
FBI is gonna log into the chat, wants to know our location. Like,
so much information going on right now.
let's see.
That's crazy.
What's up, Chandler? Welcome, buddy. How's the stream on Twitch side? I'm trying OBS right now, so I'm hoping that it works a little bit better. Let me know how it goes. The government caring about aliens and not the virus, right? Like what? Maybe they think the world is ready. For what, dude? People are panic buying toilet paper, and you want to tell us
You're
there's aliens? Like what?
we're
I really don't
going
understand that.
we're going crazy about a okay, no argument here. A flu that's more contagious. You really think that if we all band together and actually admit that aliens are real, we are not going to just absolutely go up in flames? There's
How are we
no
ready
way.
though? See,
We aren't.
I'm
Dude,
siding
I
with
don't think
Jordan
they'll
here.
do anything with us. I don't think they those memes that are like, yo, all these the aliens come down and they think we're stupid, so they just fly off.
Yeah,
I honestly think that's just pretty much what it is. I wouldn't
really,
doubt
we're
it.
just
I'd be
not
like,
advanced enough for them.
dude, there's it's taken 20 years for them to analyze a UFO and still not figured out what how it works.
What do you mean 20 years for them to figure out? Like I don't.
Okay,
Okay, so a
Bob
little
Lazar.
backstory because I'm
Yeah,
not I'm
yeah,
lost.
sorry. Okay, Bob Lazar podcast, boom, and documentary. He worked there for several years, and he worked in Area 51 for several years. They had a UFO that was there long before he got there. They had multiple UFOs that were there long before he got there, different shapes, different sizes. Some that just none of them were explainable. None of it all worked from magnetic fields and stuff like that, and nothing works the way that like these aircrafts work. And that was wild. Like that whole like aspect was wild because like they've have the top scientists, the top like it's the government, dude. It's the most top secret organization. They have the best of everything, and they can't figure out why or how or like what makes these things work the way they do.
Right.
That's wild. Like for something to be so complex that nobody in the United States of America, and if they recruit from outside of the United States can figure out, then there is something out there.
So aliens are 100% real. Dylan, have you been watching? I think Pope should make the announcements. Dylan, have you been watching Anonymous's videos? I've watched some, more so about the coronavirus, but not about the footages. If they have any footages released of aliens or
Who's
of
anonymous?
Anonymous, the guys with the V for Vendetta mask. Never heard of Anonymous? Really?
Maybe. Hold on, let me look it up. Give
What?
me a second.
You've heard of Anonymous, dude? They were huge. We need some Cheetos for this conversation. I'm just saying, man. I like to entertain Alex Jones just because of that very reason. He's entertaining. But you think if they're aliens, that they would be interdimensional?
I think ooh, I don't know about that. I think they're way more complex than we are. I think that they have like okay, the odds of there being another planet or ecosystem or whatever, however you really want to think about it, a universe, a galaxy, whatever the hell, it's not possible for there not to be an Earth-like planet that has life, as well as another planet that could have life that has been able to adapt to a different environment.
Well, see, isn't that's the whole point of the flat Earth theory, and that's why people think that the government is lying to us. That there is a flat Earth. There's no
No,
universe out there. They're
nah.
talking about how there's like no aliens, but there's like interdimensional beings, like demons and angels that are these interdimensional beings or
You
of
want to get on that
spiritual highest.
topic? You
No,
think? Do
I'm
you
just
think we got? Do you think they're like demons and angels and like ghosts and shit are real?
oh for sure. I mean,
Really?
to the point to which they can interact with us, probably not.
Are you
But
able to see them though?
there might be people that are in tune to it. I'd like to entertain that idea for sure.
Okay, well, I think I've seen a ghost before, but I can't confirm it. So, I mean, I'm there, but I'm not there. Like I can't I don't want to
I've
admit it.
almost connected with the
Dude,
plane.
I was in Alcatraz and I was literally walking. There's like a bunch of obviously it's a whole prison. There's a bunch of walkways and it's like kind of like a uh consider it like I don't know, like an E, okay? So like there's hold on. Okay, so it's like this. There's a hallway that goes down like this, and then there's a bunch that go over, and then there's some that start in the middle and then go over. And this back one, I swear I saw somebody sitting down, eating like a little bowl of soup. It was the
Oh hell
wildest
no,
thing
dude.
I have ever
I'd be
seen in my
out, bro.
life.
Did you run?
No, no, I literally stopped and I was like, "What the hell is happening?" And I looked at him, and then I turned away and I looked back, 'cause I, like, looked at my brother, and then I looked back, and there was nobody there. And I was like, "Oh."
Oh hell no, I'd be out, dude.
No, dude, it was cool. They
I'm the
have, like,
one white
little
person in scary movies that's surviving, bro. I am not going for it. I am out. I'm not
dude, it
doing
was
no ghosts.
cool.
I'm not doing nothing like that.
We stayed in a haunted hotel, and my brother swears that he sat in a haunted chair and somebody touched him, but I don't know about that. I didn't feel anything when I sat in it.
Sorry, I was just getting a message from Nathan, making sure that he's good to go. So he should be here in the next 8 minutes. But I mean, we're gonna continue this conversation when he gets here because I kind of want to hear his opinions.
Yeah.
Um, but
Alright, anybody got any questions for me while I'm really on this Kim Jong-un, aliens, ghosts, demons, angels, whatever you wanna talk
are you
about?
gonna stay here while when he gets here and we can all talk about it, or
I might for a little bit, depending
okay?
on or y'all are gonna get into film stuff, so I don't.
Well, we don't have to necessarily get into film. It's just wherever the conversation goes. I think I had a ghost experience, but it could have been a hallucination. Well,
Let
so
me hear.
so that's what Alex Jones, and I don't want to write off Alex Jones just yet. Like I really don't. I know he talks mad shit. He talks about some
See,
crazy stuff, but hear me out, dude. That dude was right about Pedophile Island.
Yeah,
Look, he
dude,
was
no,
right about
he's right
Jeffrey
about a lot of
Epstein.
things. He's right about a lot of things, but his presentation is horrible. He
Right, right.
he
He's
gives
so
off the
fanatic.
vibe that he is absolutely insane. And like I give
Imagine
credit.
what would you do with all that knowledge, bro?
Yeah, no,
Like,
I for
bro, I
sure
know,
give credit to
bro.
him.
There's a pedophile island, and no one freaking believes you, bro. I would go off
Yeah.
like that. Like, oh
Yeah,
my
no, for
gosh.
sure. Like he definitely knows things. He definitely like has a different opinion. But the things that he's right about and the things that he's wrong about, he'll still have the same energy. So there's no differential in between what he actually knows and what he thinks.
Right.
That's the problem I see in it. That's what's really annoying to watch about him because like you can literally verify that some of the things that he says are false, but he's just so adamant about it.
Well, so like I've been curious because he talks about how there's a link between the psychedelic use and interdimensional beings communicating with you and aliens and stuff like that. So again, while that sounds all fantastical and magical and crazy, you know, there's a lot of this world that I'm not really confident that I'd say I could disagree with him on that. Like
No, I
for
agree.
for
Dude,
starters, with
watching
my,
Interstellar.
through my experience with some of the things that I've dealt with, there could definitely be some truth to what he's saying, bro. Oh man.
For
So
sure.
just hearing him talk about aliens and talking about interdimensional beings and travel, like it's crazy. It sounds crazy, but I don't want to write him off just yet.
I know this might be a little off topic, but DMT, that is something that I think is possibly a gateway into something else.
Oh yeah, if you've heard anybody, like I've never taken it.
I
um
haven't either.
I don't, but it's interesting to hear people that have taken it talk about it, because they talk about it as if they're blasting off, like
Yeah.
they sit back and they just like blast off into space like a rocket ship.
Yeah,
So
dude, it's
I'm
literally like it's doesn't last long. It's naturally
Well, it
produced in
doesn't
the
last
body.
long in objective reality.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, but like it literally could be days, years,
Yeah,
hours, minutes. Like,
something that scared the living shit out of me was someone that told me their story and experience with DMT, and they were talking about how they tried it, and when they did, although it had only been 15 minutes here, they felt like they were being dragged around for 14 days on an alien planet by a massive monster.
yeah, see, that's the thing. It's really about I feel like it like most psychedelics, it really is a mindset that you're in, what you're feeling. It's gonna reciprocate how your brain is working. So it's a really dangerous thing.
Is it,
But I
or
feel like,
are you being blasted off? Is this a gateway? Like,
well, I mean, it's still your brain. It's DMT is naturally produced in your brain, and it's it's something that duplicates and duplicates to an extent that like you cannot control it. But if you are negative, then your results or like your visuals, your feelings, everything is negatively induced. But if you have a positive outlook, if you're happy, if you're successful, if you're where you want to be, then you have the potential to really open up to that next level, which in a lot of people's cases, they do consider it to be a different dimension, which is really creepy because if you're able to interact within another dimension through your brain, then we are far more complex than even the most intelligent person can understand at this moment,
well,
which is
I've
crazy.
what's scary sometimes is I've talked to people that have had those experience with psychedelics, and the scary thing is sometimes that door to the psychedelic realm is still open,
Mhm.
even when they're off of it. So it's like they're still tripping. I'm like,
That's what
that's
it's
that's
like.
scary, dude.
Some people microdose like tabs and
Yeah,
stuff.
but
Like
would you want to
I
be like that all the
no,
time?
I couldn't do it. I mean, people see. Here's like with THC, I feel, and this is personal experience. It makes me more creative. It makes me think outside the box. I've never done anything more than that, but I I just think it's there's stuff that we do not know that we need to know about the drugs that are out there
I
that have
agree.
the ability to make us or break us and
I
really
agree.
give us an understanding of like how our brain works.
Yeah,
If DMT was legal,
we haven't really dived into what these drugs do
yeah,
psychologically or what gateways or pathways they open within the brain. I mean, we kind
more
of know how.
specifically,
Go ahead.
just like this is back to the topic, but like DMT, I really just want somebody to sit down with it being legal and just be like, how is this possible? What is happening? How is it giving off these mass like j- brain craziness in such a small amount?
Well, see, that's what's weird. So when you drink, right? Everybody has a different experience with drinking. Like they feel drunk, but everybody's
Hmm.
experience is different. They don't think differently. I mean, might become irrational, but it's not like a whole reality change for you, right?
Well, I
You're
don't know
rooted in
if.
reality. It's like cocaine, the same thing. You're
Hmm.
rooted in reality, but not with psychedelics. Everybody experiences roughly the same fractal illuminations. They experience the same things, the same thought patterns. So I'm that's what's so interesting to me. It's like everybody's opening the same storybook, and you're all reading from just different pages in the same story.
Yeah.
So that's what's creepy. I'm gonna go back to some of these comments real quick. What kind of brownies did you eat today? None, absolutely none. Zippo nada. A ghost that looked like my uncle once touched me inappropriately while I was sleeping. Dylan, who is the man standing behind you? That would be. Uh, hello, sir.
Nikki.
No, right. Oh my gosh, that's insane. I've never tried it for or any psychedelic drug, so I'm skeptical. Who knows if I tried it, I might change my mind. Being
See,
drunk,
I'm
totally an
super
excellent idea.
skeptical about psychedelics too. I don't like things that are naturally produced, and especially like something like acid or like Molly or stuff like that. Like they work well with your brain, but there's not enough information about them. People make them themselves. They're made in a lab. Like I don't mess with that. I
See,
don't do any of that.
I really want to go try ayahuasca. Like that's my
Hmm.
main goal is whenever the economy or the countries open back
Isn't
up.
that I might be wrong. Isn't that in like South America?
Yeah, yeah. So it's a shamanistic drug that these guys create and they mash together, and it's like these tribes that have had this ritual for years. You mash it together and you give it as a drink, and you drink it, and it's this whole ceremony that you have to participate in, and it's supposed to open you up. And it's I've always wanted to try that to see, explore that idea.
It's a
Jordan asks,
spiritual thing.
yeah, it's supposed to be like a spiritual awakening. But I'm not really sure. I'm skeptical about the procedure. I'm skeptical about everything. That's why I want to try it for myself.
They don't
So
have
I
doctors.
right, right.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Can we talk about simulation theory?
Oh, that we're all living in a simulation?
Okay, so you know, Westworld kind of does that really well.
Don't get me on Westworld, man.
I guess we're on
Oh,
Westworld now because
oh
I watched the
man.
first couple episodes of Westworld.
Yo, you haven't gotten far into it? All right, then we can't talk about.
I've watched the first season, so we could talk about the first season.
Oh, see, I've already finished season three, or not finished, I'm caught up with season three, so I'll get too far in depth. I don't
Season
think I can stop
two
myself.
was all right. I couldn't really like the beginning of it was like, eh.
Yeah, see, here's the problem with that is it's such a slow build up, but it pays off because everything doesn't make sense until it does, and it doesn't make sense until the end of the season.
What's up, Josh? Coming back. I had several dreams, different places where I get the chance to learn the truth or about the world, but I get scared because I don't think I'll be able to get back.
Please elaborate on that because that
Yeah,
sounds really interesting, but I'm really confused.
don't it? Honestly,
Is that like opening a door? You mean like like in your okay, so several dreams where you is there like a door? Like a white door? You're like, "Oh,
where does the white door come from?
just 'cause like to learn the truth about like but she didn't go in."
Yeah, explain that a little bit more, Jordan. Um, but simulation theory to me is just like, I think Westworld did describe it pretty well, but um, yeah, I
I
100% agree
agree with
with
David.
David. It's
Yeah.
literally God with extra steps.
That's facts. It literally
It's
is.
God reskinned for the atheist,
It's
and
no free will with
yeah,
extra steps.
and it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, if someone can elaborate and explain it differently to me, then maybe I'll see it in a different light. But I agree with David 100. It's literally God with extra steps. I mean, it's a being that's intelligent enough to create the world, right?
Or create a
And
simulation
create,
of a world.
yeah, or create a reality
Yeah.
that which you live in. The problem is what doesn't make sense to me, what logistically speaking or subjectively speaking doesn't make sense to me is if we're in a simulation theory, then why are you and I in the same simulation?
Because like it doesn't, I don't think it has to
Like,
do
are
with
you real? Like, that would be my question. Like, are you actually here, or are you just projective of the simulation? Like, like, at least God, and not in terms of simulation theory. At least God, you are real, and my experience with you is real. Simulation theory just means
yeah,
that I can't really tell that this is real or not.
me too.
So
Yeah.
I'm still stuck on that one. I can't. I don't know if I can get behind simulation theory. Although it sounds cool for scientists and everything, I just doesn't.
There's too many factors for that to even slightly be possible.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, I get their point. Like, one day humans might be intelligent enough to create our own simulation, and because of that logic, what's to say that we haven't already done that before? I
The
get the lot.
microverse.
Yeah, Rick and Morty does it the best.
Yeah.
I mean, they create a
The
simulation
teeny
within a
verse, the
yeah.
microverse,
They
the
create a
miniverse.
simulation within a simulation within a simulation within a simulation. I mean, just infinite realities, but it's just God with extra steps, man. Makes sense.
Yeah. Rick calls himself God, so it makes even more sense now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Boom. I have dreams about people I never met. Could be a figment of my imagination. I feel, yeah, or it could just be a combination of all the people you've met into one, or just like
Ooh.
the perfect, or like what you perceive to be the most normal or perfect being.
Let's see. Like finding portals and knowing if I find out the truth, I won't be able to go back once I was there, to where I once was. I was terrified.
Oh, I'm so sorry, I missed over that. Okay, yeah. Um, to find like, so is this like so you won't be able to get back within your reality? Like, so here's the way I'm thinking about this. So basically, you're in a dream. You have a door, and either you go through the door, and there's the whole truth, nothing but the truth. You could not be flawed, or like it cannot be flawed. Period. Is that something that changes what you think in reality, or is that what? That's what I'm thinking. So, like, if you know the truth through that door, then is that changing your perspective into reality? Because if that's the case, then I think actually, I don't know where I was going with that. I was gonna go with it's a psychedelic experience, but there's no drug taking in this.
What's similar to a psychedelic experience? If you ever get the chance, go into a sensory deprivation tank.
I want to try those, but I feel like I'd not do good at them.
Honestly, I've tried it before, and it's actually really fun. Well, it's fun. Fun is a subjective word, but it's an interesting experience. It's definitely weird and scary the first 15 minutes or so, but once you kind of get out of the initial vibes, then it kind of runs good.
Explain. Go into a sensory deprivation
So,
tank.
sensory deprivation tank is basically this. It simulates what it feels like to be deprived of all senses, whether that's hearing, touch, taste, smell, sight, sound. You're in this tank that's filled with Epsom salt and water, and you can literally lay in there and you can float and not move a muscle. So you literally just float in the water, and after like 5 minutes or so, you stop feeling anything because the water is already adjusted to your body temperature. You don't really feel anything. Once you relax, it's not like your body's pushing on anything. There's no light, and like I said, after 15 minutes or 15 minutes, your nose adjusts to the smell, so you don't smell anything anymore. It's completely quiet. So it's a complete deprivation of all your senses.
That's sick.
But
I kind of want to try it.
what it does is it allows your brain to kind of use what was all the resources that were used for those senses and reaccumulate those into like images. And so you sit there and you just lay in the tank and you just kind of relax and let your brain do the job.
Does it make you like trip, for a lack of a better word? Like, do you see?
It's definitely an interesting experience. I didn't see anything. It's not like I saw like premonitions, but I definitely say it's surreal. Like it's definitely worth everybody giving it a shot. Let's see, like different worlds. I won't get back to the world we're in now. I'm not sure though. Oh, hold on, Nate's here.
What's up?
Hold on, he's coming in.
That was close.
What's up, Nate?
What's up? Oh, he's
Hey,
connecting his.
Hey,
Hello.
yo, what's up?
hey,
What's
what's
up?
up, bud?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yep.
hear you. So we've already kind of been chit chatting. Oh, can you hear us?
Hold up one
Oh,
sec.
hello, hello,
I
hello.
gotta.
Boom, boom.
If I have the dream again tonight, I'll go through the portal. Yes, please.
Do it.
You
See
keep
what
a dream
happens.
journal, Jordan. You should keep a dream journal, Jordan. I can realize that I'm in my dreams, and then I can sort of take control. I agree with David. Sensory deprivation tanks are scary because me alone in my head sounds terrifying. I literally live life trying not to be alone in my head. Yeah, sensory deprivation tanks are a handful. Can you
Wait,
hear
y'all
us?
don't try to. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, okay.
Say.
What's up? Hey, what's up? What's your name?
What's
This
up?
is
I'm
Strickland.
Strickland.
Strickland. That's cool. That's a cool name, man. Strickland.
Thank you.
Yo, I'm Nate.
Yeah,
What's
so
up?
how's everything been, man? You're joining us from California, right?
Yup, over in LA in quarantine.
Yeah, how's that
So,
going right now?
it's not too bad. Like, I mean, things haven't been as crazy over here as they like were in the beginning, but now it's like kind of chilled out. They've like slowed down contamination and things like that. So, I feel like it's not really spiking up. Stuff just still closed down. But wait, you guys, are you in Georgia? Both of you guys?
Oh,
Yep.
well, I'm technically in Maryland right now because my wife
I'm in
took
Georgia still.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so we're
They're
all over
opening
the
it
board
up
right
for
now, right?
Hey, I've
Georgia's
been working, so
Georgia's
if I
had
get it, I got it.
yeah, right. Georgia's
Wait, where
had
are
some
you?
handfuls.
Yeah, where are you working at?
I'm working at a marina near Lake Lanier.
Oh,
So
that's pretty cool.
yeah,
Ain't it? Ain't it?
it's pretty
Hate it,
nice.
love it. Oh, you love it. Okay.
So how have things been going with the filming? Like how have you been doing all that, working around all that since the
Oh
whole
man,
coronavirus?
well, things have been delayed. A lot of things have been delayed. So in terms of like my own projects though, like I wasn't shooting anything. I wasn't like planning anything super serious. Like, I mean, I have a movie that I'm writing right now, and I'm actually gonna do it as like a 3-part series. So it's either gonna be like a 3-hour long movie or it's just gonna be like a thing that I put out online.
Oh heck yeah.
So yeah,
Sick.
either like yeah, it's gonna be this kind of crazy like nightmare fantasy story. So I just rewrote part 1 today.
Is
It
it
was kind of
about
crazy.
is it
So
about
can you give us a?
coronavirus being
Ooh.
dropped off by aliens and killing Kim Jong Un?
I mean, there are aliens in there.
Are they
I will
really?
say
Okay.
that. Yeah. But it's kind of it's really weird sci-fi. Is what I'll say. Like there is a main character and there's a whole lot of fantastical stuff that's like happening around him. Things that are kind of surreal. So aliens, like people that look like kind of anime characters, like weird looking people.
Oh, this is cool. This is sounding
Yeah,
good.
like
This is
men in
sounding right
trench
up my
coats
alley
and
right
stuff.
now.
Yeah, so yeah, and he doesn't know what the fuck's going on, but like stuff is happening to him, and he's just kind of seeing this stuff. And he's like, he was basically like in the beginning of the movie. It feels like, I mean, I at least try to insert all these fantastical things in like the description and the way that I tell the story. I try to tell like he would because he's a novelist. So he's kind of like seeing things unfold before his eyes, and he's like, oh, the world is absurd, but he's just saying it because if you do truly think about the world, like it is kind of weird, you know. Weird
Right.
things just happen all the time, especially quarantine. I mean, look at this. So, he's just like kind of saying these things that feel normal. But then as the story goes deeper, as it gets towards the end of part 1, that's when the fantastical stuff like really starts blowing up.
Oh,
And
that
then you're
sounds
kind of
awesome.
like, oh, there's something bigger
awesome.
happening here.
I'm
have you
excited for this.
have you seen
Fuck yeah,
any of
cool.
the governmental releases for Aliens?
Like the Area 51 stuff that they're like that the people like raided Area 51
No, no,
or
no, no,
what
no, no,
was
no.
that?
So
Oh, like
Twitter
actual?
Twitter just kind of blew up the other day about how the government has now officially released footage of unidentified flying objects.
Oh,
Yeah.
sick.
So
I
the
gotta check that
Pentagon
out.
has declassified that information, and it was originally released back in 2001, right? Strickland, or 2007?
Something like that.
Yeah. So definitely interesting. I would give it a check out for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be watching that. I love that kind of stuff. Well, because like people would kind of tell stories like y'all seen like Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Uh-uh.
I
That's like
might have
a
seen some of it.
yeah, it's an old Spielberg movie where aliens come and like people are recounting that they have seen aliens and they're doing that to like scientists and government people, etc. And then they're like scientists or the government really is just like, oh, let me tell you what you saw. So these people think that they're crazy. They feel like they have like a medical condition or something,
Oh,
but
like
they're
a Men
actually
in Black
seeing
scenario.
Yeah.
exactly. So they're like, oh, I saw something. But then they're just like, no, you didn't see that. But there's actually like unidentified aircraft like coming in and like
Oh shit.
fucking shit
Dude,
up.
stuff's crazy. Okay, so
Yeah.
Jordan asked, "What do you think aliens look like?"
Yeah, I guess being a film producer, you
Oh
would have some
yeah,
sort of
about
like idea of
the
what they would look like.
well the aliens that I have, and I don't want to give like too much away because I don't
Okay,
want to
okay,
like
yeah, yeah, you got to give
and
that
it could
surprise
change,
factor.
but yeah, but like it's basically like things you would recognize, but kind of a weird combination or a strange combination of that. So like it's
Right.
familiar things, kind of like an alternate. Think of like rewriting history or rewriting like an alternate timeline.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So
kind of
I
wait.
like that.
think aliens are baby size.
So Jordan actually asked, do you think UFOs are like could they be time machines?
They could.
Like
I mean,
like
it
like
could
people
be.
people coming back in time and like
Uh,
they're interacting with us, but they're basically aliens.
I don't know
uh,
about that, Chief.
dude, actually, you know what? There was somebody was talking about this. Maybe it might have been Neil deGrasse Tyson, or I don't know, but it was somebody was talking about like time travel and like how you know if you are talking to a time traveler, you just wouldn't know because they just wouldn't tell you. But like if somebody like were to just somehow slip up about something that like because you know how people think like oh we can predict things and we can predict certain things because we see patterns, but
Right.
like he was like you will know if you do meet a time traveler because they're gonna if they slip up then it's very noticeable or some kind of thing. I guess there's a sort of glitch in the matrix or something.
Kind of like the Simpsons, right? Like how the Simpsons have
Yeah,
predicted pretty much everything so far.
Are they
yeah,
time
right.
travelers? The creators are time
Who
travelers.
freaking knows, man? Who
It's
freaking
Well, see,
possible.
knows?
with that stuff though, like I feel like because of the patterns that they've seen, they just like have like and stuff that's going on stuff. Like I know like BoJack, like people are like, oh man, you guys predicted that the Me Too stuff was like gonna happen and things like that. Way before it actually happened. And they were just like, well, no, this stuff has just been happening, but we
Right.
just, wrote about it. And
Yeah, but
they published it.
9/11?
Yeah,
Simpsons and
9/11. Yeah. Oh, wait,
9/11?
the Simpsons like predicted something like that?
Yeah, you never saw
Yes.
the episode
Oh
where like
shit,
they
that's kind of crazy
had
then.
oh yeah, there's a meme about it where like
Yeah.
what's the girl's name? Maggie? Not Maggie.
They're in front of a TV store and there's a sign
Oh,
and it
Lisa.
says it's a picture of hold on, I can pull it up. It's like a picture
There's
of
like a
two
magazine that
towers.
literally says 9/11, like 9 and then the
Yeah.
two
Holy
towers represent
crap.
11. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
That
okay,
is
so
pretty
it's yeah,
crazy.
it's Bart with a picture or with like a magazine
share your
and
screen.
it's the hold on, oh dude, I have like 3 screens up, so it's not gonna share very well.
Oh, that's all right.
I don't even know how to do that if we're being honest here. It's New York Magazine, $9, and then right to the right of it, there's the two twin towers. And then later in that episode, I believe they mentioned something or there's a video of something hitting a tower, but I might be really wrong about that.
Yeah, Dale said the Simpsons predicted
Wow.
Trump being president.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I
I'm
remember
just
that.
looking at
Predicted
that
Yeah.
right
Donald
now.
Trump getting elected at the exact wave and the exact poster falling at the specific time.
Oh,
Do you
what?
do you think time travel is possible? Like, is that like as a so I know
Not
as a
now.
sci-fi artist, like you guys basically paved the way for scientists sometimes because they get ideas based off of what you guys do. And I know that sounds weird, and I'm not explaining that very right, but
No, I know what you mean.
Like
you guys,
Interstellar.
yeah, like you guys set the imagination of these scientists on a path, and so you guys kind of trigger that. But do you believe like time travel is possible?
I think I think it is, especially considering like what they're doing with like quantum physics now. Like they're kind of discovering like how to breach into universes, and there's also a TV show called Devs, that if you guys haven't seen, it's on Hulu,
Who was
and it
telling me
actually
about that? Someone was telling me about that the other day.
that's a good show.
Is
I
it?
mean, at least yeah, like if you've seen like Ex Machina or like Annihilation,
Yeah,
like
I've seen Ex Machina.
yeah, so it's the same dude.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a
so
good
if you
movie.
like his work, you will definitely love this. Like would highly recommend. They kind of talk about time travel actually, but it's so like abstract, and I haven't finished the show, but I got like a couple episodes left. But it's still like even the people who are working in it just don't really know what it is, but like they've achieved something pretty extraordinary, like especially in the time period that they're in. But yeah, they a lot of it that I think had to do with just like quantum physics and all that kind of stuff. But I don't even know really how to begin or how would they sort of detect like alternate realities and things like that.
Yeah, so isn't that the paradox that's kind of formed with time travel? Like, if you go back in time, like, why haven't we already interacted with ourselves, or why haven't we already been back in time?
Oh
Maybe we
yeah,
just can't do it yet. Maybe it's something that's short in the near future, and things are about to
yeah,
go crazy.
I think the
yeah.
best
Do your time
explanation
travel like
for
oh
it
man.
is the only point in time that you can go back in time is when you create the time machine itself, because you have to have a receiver, right? So I think that's the thing
Oh
that sort of makes sense for me is like if you develop time travel, then the only way that you can go back in time is you can only go back in time to the point in which you develop time travel. So so say we develop time travel tomorrow. We couldn't go back in time to today because there was no time machine today. But in a year from now, we could go back in time tomorrow. So I think that's the only
well,
explanation I have for why we probably haven't witnessed a time traveler, if it is possible.
yeah, no, I see exactly what you're talking about. That is interesting because I'm trying to even think how like does it too. Like I mean, although I haven't gotten like too far yet to see what they do, but I know that they have like something that they can see into the past and the future.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, so which is kind of crazy because I'm like, okay, well, if you can at least see it, then you could go there. Maybe you can't go back. Like, yeah, we could have just like completely screwed up. And like there wasn't a receiver and someone gets like transported.
It's
I
You're
already
like, all right,
happened.
goodbye forever.
there was
You're like, man, the past is fucked up.
I think also the Avengers does it pretty well too. Like they talk about if you're going back in time, the point to which you go back in time and alter something, it becomes a different reality. So now you've created a different multiverse or a different path. So you can no longer return to the same reality unless you literally line everything back up where it was before. It's like the butterfly effect. If a butterfly
Yeah,
flaps
that's
its
hard.
wings 5 years ago, does it create a tsunami or a hurricane today?
Dude, if I created time travel, it would be terrible. I would tell too many people in past times and it would just all go downhill. It might not exist. I might just vanish.
They're like the government's looking for you, like
Yeah,
Let's see. Let's
that's
get to some of these
crazy.
comments. If you can travel at the speed of light, then you are traveling through time. Why do we experience deja vu? Why do we remember things that never existed? Hence Mandela effect. Ooh, that's a good one.
Mandela effect. Yeah, dude, that's crazy. I think it's just things that we want to have happen.
Yeah, but collectively, like, so what color is Pikachu's tail? Like the tip of it?
It's gray, isn't it?
No,
brown
no,
or black.
no,
Oh,
Is it
no. It's
yellow?
not. No, hold on. But we all remember it that way, right?
Wait,
oh
what?
shit! This is gonna get trippy.
Right? Hold on. This is Pikachu, guys. But you remember this black tail right here, don't you? You remember something being black right there. Hold on, I'm not sharing my screen. Hold on, I got you. Gotta share screen.
There wasn't like a black tip. Oh my god, there wasn't.
No, there wasn't. All right, so right here, guys. Hold on. I'm gonna show them real quick. You see this? There's no black
Yeah.
tip.
Oh, what the hell?
Oh, that's crazy. I thought there was a black tip.
No,
I
there's
thought there was
not.
like
so
one black
crazy.
line.
Yeah.
Ain't that something though? But why do we all experience that? Like, why
There's
do we
other
all know
ones.
that? Hold on, I'm looking up examples of.
Yeah,
of
I am
effects.
too. Oh yeah, like the Flintstones.
Wait, what about them?
Or Looney Tune. I mean, it's spelled different. There's like, hold on, I gotta get the exact one.
The Flintstones is spelled differently. Hold on.
Well, people think that it's spelled not how it's supposed to be spelled.
I think the main one that started this whole thing, and I'm reading it right now. It's Nelson Mandela's death. So this is how it all started. Let's start with the reason why we're all here. Nelson Mandela, who this theory is named after, died in 2013. However, countless people distinctly remember him dying in prison in 1980s.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
But his
That's
death
facts.
isn't only an
I remember
example
this
of
in
Mandela
school.
effect. We have been wrong
Wow.
about so many dates, details, and more. Keep going for more commonly misremembered moments in history. But how do we all collectively forget that? Like, how do we all collectively just remember some guy dying in prison, but he's not actually dead?
There's too many
Huh.
things to remember. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, it looks like I know like deja vu is kind of an interesting one because I almost feel like that is a glitch in the universe, like just kind of a strange glitch.
Is it really?
Yeah, like I don't know, like I feel like especially if you're having like dreams and stuff, you ever have like an experience that you feel like is way too familiar and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, like this happened and I feel like it happened in a dream. That feels like deja vu, like that. I can't believe like I'm seeing that again. But you may or may not have had that as a dream. That kind of, I guess, gets into false memory too, because you can completely misremember dreams. So like you could misremember a dream and just be like, oh, like that's deja vu, or misremember a certain incident. I mean, you could get as far as that and just completely misremember it and then account it the completely wrong way. But when you tell that to somebody else who doesn't know about it, then they have no choice but to leave you. That could get passed on, things like that.
I think there was a scientific explanation that describes deja vu, and it's to do with where memory is processed, like the hippocampus, and how sight is processed, and how those two may overlap at some point to where you're experiencing a memory. But I don't like that explanation.
Does that have to do with the reason why the only dreams I remember are that like actually really happened, like as a kid, that I don't remember?
No, so some people actually experience dreams that never have happened, like completely fictional, made up, weird monsters, weird fractals,
See, that's the thing.
shapes and stuff, like just fantastical dreams.
I went to Hawaii as a kid. I went to San Francisco as a kid. I don't remember much of any of the trip, but multiple years later, I had a long, like multiple days in a row, I had the same dream, and I was really confused. So I was like, "Mom, like, what is all this?" And they're like, "Yeah, that all actually happened." And I was like, "What? I don't remember any of this."
Oh shit, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But
It was kind of
pretty
cool.
though.
I was shocked. I was like, "What is happening to me right now?"
Yeah, I actually had an experience of deja vu the other day, like while we were up here in Maryland. Like, keep in mind, I've never been to Maryland before. I've never been in this hotel room. And I was in the shower, and I remember seeing Nikki getting ready for something, and I looked, and I was like, oh, I've been here before. Like, I've done this before. And this time, this is where the glitch gets really weird, is I start to remember aspects in advance. Like, I'm like, oh shit, what's gonna happen now? Like, I remember this. Like, this whole scene, instead of experiencing it in real time, I was trying to predict what was gonna happen next. And so that was really weird.
Did you get any of it right?
She was gonna call Selena, like one of her friends, and it didn't happen, but it was just weird. Like, I've never actually had it to where, I've experienced it in real time. Usually that's what's happening. I'm experiencing it in real time, but like, it was like I've almost sort of like advanced, like my training, like my muscle flexed a little bit, and like I was starting to remember a little bit more and more and more. It was weird.
Wait, so like as you were going through this experience though, did any like senses come back to you, like strange senses?
Like touch, taste, feeling, sight.
Yeah, just like pretty much anything that like
No, it's
triggered
just
you.
no. Like I said, I was in the shower, and so I just looked at this one spot, and it was the sight of it that triggered the deja vu.
Mm.
But I was remembering, like I could recall events in advance. Like I wasn't actually predicting the events. The events didn't actually happen, but the ease of which I thought of the next step or the sequence of actions that came after that. That's what felt real. I was like, shit, she's about to call Selena here. Like, wait, hold
Oh
up.
shit. Man,
Yeah,
that's interesting, dude.
ain't it?
That's really interesting.
Hold on, let's get back to
Shit, you
some of
gotta
these.
also I feel like do y'all like write down dreams? You guys like have dream journals and stuff like that?
I
I
don't have enough dreams or remember them when I wake up to like actually be able to do that. I wish I could, but I just like legit don't. I don't have dreams. It's weird.
I need to. Like I have crazy dreams. I just don't write them down.
Yeah, if you have some crazy ones, definitely write that down. Because I almost feel like, and it depends too, like on what's weighing on your mind. I guess when you're going to sleep too, like, I guess what'll even maybe facilitate a nightmare much later on in your life.
Mhm.
And I don't know, like I don't have a dream journal either, and I kind of want to start writing some of this shit down because sometimes I'll just be waking up, and I remember I've had like crazy dreams. So I was like, okay, I have to write this
Dude,
down,
you as a writer
like
would be awesome to keep a dream
to
journal.
write them down.
Do
Yeah,
it.
I
Yeah.
mean, like,
Please do
I
it.
mean, yeah, I should probably start doing it more. I do it a little bit, and what I'll do though is like if I do have a dream that really affects me, then I wake up and I'm like immediately just like writing down details of like what happened or what I saw or people that I saw or things that I met. And some of that stuff is sort of trickled into like my stories and stuff. Definitely in this script. Um,
That's
this
awesome.
Yeah, so I'm excited for you guys to check it out. I mean, you guys are gonna kind of take a peek into my mind. So
heck yeah, heck yeah. I did write down one dream I had on Google Drive. I did like create a folder in here that said, um, okay. Oh shoot, this is a dream. Okay, so I did create a folder in Google Drive marked Dream Journal. So I had the intentions of doing it. And this is a dream that I had. I only made one entry. This is a dream that I had back in October 2019. I dreamt that I was at a bar owned by John Mayer, and the stage was open to anyone that could play. The only requirement was that you couldn't just go up there and randomly make sounds. Like you could play anything you want. Like everything was fair game. You just couldn't just bang on shit. John Mayer began talking about this app that allowed him to advertise his new business. The app, when signed up, will require you to watch 4 ads by other businesses while at the same time advertising your own. So it's like kind of like a community share. Like everybody joins the app and it promotes everybody's who's in the app's business. Basically, once you created your ad, you would simply upload the ad to the app, and the app will show you a series of businesses that are related to your interests. It was intended to help small business owners create a community while at the same time generating awareness about their specific company. Like that was the
ooh,
dream journal I had. I have
How did
weird
John Mayer
freaking.
come into that?
I have no
Dude,
idea.
that's
I
that.
have no idea.
hey man, you never know. Like, dude, this shit could happen.
I
I'm
figured
just
you were gonna
saying.
go with something that like, oh, you went up there and played and then signed with John Mayer, but no, it's all business.
No,
It's
yeah, it
all
was just a
money,
business. Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
advertising.
Man, it
That's
could
crazy.
happen.
Let me
It could
get to some
happen.
of these comments real quick because we we've had
We
this great
went on a
conversation.
tangent.
Yeah, I've actually had breathtaking deja vu moments down to the smallest detail and feeling. Why do I get experiences where I feel out of body, like someone takes over for a few seconds? Dylan said he got that before while driving. Oh, okay. So I think it's called like depersonalization or desensitization. Like you feel like you're not in control of your body. Like
Is that just like desensitizing? Is that, or I don't know. What do you
it's
mean by that?
it's like depersonalization where I was in my body and I could see and I actually basically had full control of my body, but I just felt like I was awareness. I wasn't actually in control. Like I was just awareness. That was the weirdest sensation to actually have. Like I could control aspects. I could pick up this cup right here. I could take a sip. But in terms of my reality, I just felt like I was aware of what was going on and not really even though I was in control. Like I was complete in control of my body. Like I could talk into the mic, scream, do whatever I wanted, but it was more like my perception was shifted towards awareness rather than rooted in what it is now, like reality. So it was really weird.
I think it could have something to do with control. I think it, or like, I guess on a psychology level or something, maybe like that, control. Because I mean, I know I have that, and I've had that experience with drugs too. So like, so when you do have a sort of out of body experience, though, in a way, at least for me, it was kind of comforting. Like it was like kind of a grounding experience. Like I was like, I knew what I looked like, and I knew my presence and around this space.
Right.
And like, it also made me like way more like aware of just the world and things like that. When you have it in like a dream, it's even more fucked up though, because then it's like anything can happen. In reality, though, it's like, oh, like things are grounded. But like in a dream, yeah, it's like it can go crazy. And for me, that's turned into nightmares.
Have you ever been in sleep paralysis?
I actually haven't. No.
Have you?
I
hear that shit is scary.
I haven't either.
Really?
No.
Have you?
I get sleep paralysis a lot, actually.
Damn, yeah. See, people, it's common, right? Like, or it's a lot more common than we think.
Yeah. So I mean, it's. So I hit the vape, and that's probably like my worst habit of mine. But when I take nicotine, I actually have it a lot less. Like I don't experience sleep paralysis at all. It's like my body's, I don't know, adjusting to the nicotine. But when I went to Denver and we participated in some activities, that's when I noticed that I actually had it more. Like when THC was in my system, I had it more. So I don't know if that has something to do with, my mind being awake while my body's asleep. I don't know. But I definitely have sleep paralysis. And based off what I intake, either promotes or reduces it.
Wait, how does that what is it like for you though?
Basically you're frozen. Like your mind's awake and your body's asleep. And I can't tell if I'm just lucid dreaming and I'm just imagining the situation where I'm just like frozen, whatnot. But I have awareness that my body is still. But the thing is, like, it takes so much willpower to wake up from that. It takes so much willpower to move a single muscle to where, like, if I'm in my head and I'm in sleep paralysis and I want to wake up, I have to start by moving the small things, like moving my pinky,
moving your finger.
Yeah, moving your finger.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it can get weird. It can get very weird.
Dude, have you ever watched, I'm sure you watched Paranormal Activity, when there's like this scene where the girl gets up and she's like standing at the bed, but she's just staring at the bed?
Yeah.
I have done that in a dream, but I was in bed, but I was the person standing up looking at myself, and that is most messed up I've ever been when I woke up. I was so confused.
Oh, that's creepy.
Dude, that is super creepy.
I was looking at myself, and I wake up, and there's nothing there. I didn't know what to do. I just sat there, and I was like, I am possessed.
No, what's up? Hey,
oh my god.
Hey, actually, Lucas is in the chat. What's up, Lucas? I didn't even notice your comment, bud. Thank you for tuning in. I see that you subscribe too. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dylan tapped into an alternate universe, pretty much. Let's see. Hold on. I need to go back to some of these comments.
Yeah, Strickland, it sounds like you entered a portal, man. Like,
oh man, I entered something. I got something. I got something in my head. It was just messed up.
Strickland, are you a time traveler?
He could be. You never know.
Who's to say? If I was, I already told you I'd ruin it. I told you if it was me, I would have ruined it.
Yeah.
See, we don't know, man. We don't know.
Nah, who's to say?
Let's see. My deja vu moment was most vivid. I know what the people I was. Did I read that right, or am I messing up?
Yes.
with where we're about to say. Okay, I'm obviously super dyslexic. I can't. It was weird. I actually had a little panic attack over it because of it. Dang. Was so trippy. We're talking about deja vu. Ever get that feeling of deja vu? You guys ever play Overwatch?
I haven't played it, no.
Oh, bro.
I've
Dylan tapped into
semi played it.
Yeah, Dylan tapped into an alternate universe. I'm gonna start keeping a dream journal. I might do what Dylan suggesting, draw my dream. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, yeah. You should draw your dreams.
Draw your dreams. You can definitely get a lot of inspiration from
I might start doing that. Do some crazy stuff.
I had that feeling. It's
That would
like
be
being on
tight, yeah.
autopilot.
Y'all gotta post
Going-
that stuff too.
Yeah, going back to our comments about depersonalization, where you're like, you feel like you're sort of just on autopilot, like you're aware. You're not really you're in control, but you're not in control. That's what he's talking about, being on autopilot. I started when I was in elementary school, and I got it. And I was looking around, and I started freaking out. And I sometimes get it now. Are you talking about the dream or the depersonalization? Sleep paralysis is fucking terrible. I get it more when I'm super stressed out. For me, I'm awake, lying in bed. I'm paralyzed and can't move. I feel like I'm trapped. I'll try to wiggle my toes and sing to wake myself. Yeah, it literally takes an enormous amount of hour to wake up from that. Y'all are gonna
Wait,
give me
question for
nightmares.
that person.
Okay.
Wait, what do you sing? What do you sing to wake yourself up?
Hey, that's a great question.
You know, honestly, I don't see things. I hear things when I'm in sleep paralysis.
Are your eyes
Gosh.
open though?
I mean, objectively speaking, no, because I'm asleep.
Okay, fair
But-
enough.
But I can still see what's around me. Like, that's why I think it's more of a lucid dream, because it's not like I can just get up and. Okay, so hear me out on this. When I am in sleep paralysis, if I try to exert enough effort over my entire body, not over just one part, I can sort of get up and walk around. But when I do that, it's like, if I wanted to come over here, if I put a deck of cards right here and picked them up in my dream, I wouldn't necessarily pick up the right card. So that's why I think it's more lucid dreaming, and it's not, astral projection like people say.
Wait, yeah. What is astral projection like in terms of dreams?
So, astral projection, a lot of people claim that when you're laying down in bed, you can sort of project your soul out, and then you can kind of transgress or transcend into this astral plane where you're walking around. And I've had the symptoms of all that, but I think it's more lucid dreaming. I don't think there's really like you're actually going into astral projection where you literally just travel across the world.
Yeah, that seems
see what's in the other room.
wild.
Yeah,
that would be so fun.
That'd be sick.
Be like, just like find your soul, like just out hanging out in the universe.
Be like, yo, what's up?
Hey,
Just zoom towards
you
them.
me, homie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Strickland's a time traveler, confirmed. Strickland might be
Yeah,
an
we
alien
know.
time traveler with amnesia.
Damn it.
Yeah.
They found out.
We all know it. We all know time travel.
I can't tell you what's gonna happen though.
I
It's
think the first thing
secret
that
safe
comes
with
to my
me.
mind could be happy birthday one time. It was hit me with your best shot, and then I'll wake up and my friends will say I was mumbling something.
Oh, I talk
shit.
in my sleep, apparently. I say some crazy stuff in my sleep.
You know
Wait,
who's
what did they
weird?
like
That's
caught you
awesome.
saying?
I said I was gonna kill someone, and
Whoa,
Shit,
okay.
Wait, yeah, go on.
Okay, I think you need to clarify this so we don't like.
oh, I mean, I don't really know what was happening. I was asleep, but like, I don't really know. I don't have any more information than I woke up, and they were like, "Yo, you said you were gonna kill somebody last night," and I was like, "Really?"
Okay, so Strickland is an alien
Dude, that's pretty
time
cool.
traveler
I
with
mean,
amnesia
well-
who's about to kill somebody. Okay, that's good to know.
All right,
No,
I'm an
like, yeah.
alien. I'm an alien, a time traveler, and a murderer.
Yes.
Write that in your notes.
Shit, yeah, he was like, yeah.
Put
I mean,
make me a character in one of your movies.
Maybe.
yeah, man, you got the 3 attributes of somebody I would write.
Exactly.
I got you here. I got you. You're an alien who is seeking
Alien.
asylum in the past and took
You're
over Strickland's body. There we
a
go.
time traveler.
That's what happened. You killed Strickland, the real Strickland, but you're an alien seeking asylum in the past because you committed a crime in the future, but now you're
Or-
taking over.
Are you trying to like
Yes.
undo
I
it?
am
Yes.
just I just
No.
like in game I just disintegrated and then came into the air and then went into my body.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with
Like, you just
that.
created a whole. Wait, isn't there there is a character in the Marvel universe. Who is it? Cassandra. Oh man, if you guys like know Marvel, like you will kill Cassandra Nova. That's who it is.
Sandra Nova. Okay.
Isn't that character like rivaling like Professor X and is like in terms of like psychic abilities and like I think it's like a parasite, like an alien parasite.
I thought that was
like-
I thought that was the Phoenix Force.
Cassandra Nova though I think is an alien parasite, but like
Okay.
I think that Professor X, like you're talking about, like in terms of rivals for Professor X, or just like
Could be.
aliens.
Could be because I know that the Phoenix Force is like the end all be all power that resided in Jean Grey, and you know that's what the whole new X-Men movie was about. But I heard it didn't do.
Oh, Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Y'all saw that?
No, I didn't hear good things about it.
I didn't see it. I don't watch
I
a lot of
mean-
movies that come out. I should.
No, it's so good. And well, hopefully my movie will be good enough for.
Oh no, I'm for
Yeah,
sure
we
watching
we got
it.
to. We
Oh,
got
fuck
to.
yeah,
sure.
dude.
Hey,
I'm
man,
already
as soon as it's
interested.
released, you got to promote it. Like I'll send it out, promote it. I mean, you're on the podcast, so I'll do what I can
man.
to promote it.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely promote this one because that's usually like something that I've like lacked at promotion. So now with this thing, especially with how things are like going with coronavirus and the industry's changing and stuff, so like movies might not get theatrical releases at least as much
Right.
anymore. So now I'm like, oh shit, why not just make it like a small TV show?
Are you on Instagram?
Can we get a pre-release and then I'll promote the hell out of it.
Oh shit, yeah, okay.
Hey,
I'll send you.
gotta
Yeah,
know what
Yeah.
I mean, I'll
promoting,
send you the movie for sure. Yeah, I'll be
Bet.
like, hey, let me know. And hey, if
keep in
y'all be like, yo,
touch.
this is trash, like at least have time to fix it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. We'll be your critiquers.
Are you on
Yeah.
Instagram?
Yeah.
Yo,
Let me
like,
drop my
do you-
handle.
Do you post your videos on Instagram TV?
Oh no. How do you do IGTV?
Yo, so I've been
I have
doing
not
that.
figured that out.
Yeah, I've been doing that with the podcast, and it's been working out very well. Like, especially for you because you do a lot of shorter clips, which are
Mhm.
easier to digest. So Instagram TV, there's an option on. I usually do it for my desktop. I know the desktop version of Instagram and the mobile versions are strange. They're different, but it's real quick, real easy. You just drag, drop the file, add a picture, and
Sick.
call it a day.
Oh, well, I'm gonna have to start doing that. Yeah, because I thought you had to get like IGTV if you had like a bunch of followers or something like that.
No, nothing like that. Nothing.
Dylan's definitely rocking with a bunch of followers right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dylan, wait, did you just join recently, Dylan?
Big
Yeah, I joined
time.
like back in
Oh, shit,
maybe
bro.
late February, early March.
Damn, dude. Well, then congrats on that shit.
Yeah, I mean, luckily I've had people that have been able to come on the podcast and help support it. So, I mean, Jordan, literally, who's in the chat now, made a montage of all of our episodes, or some of our episodes,
sick.
and that did so well on Instagram. Like, so many people liked it, so many people viewed it. Like, I promoted the shit out of the podcast.
Dylan, you're taking
Dude,
off, man.
sick.
I'm telling you, after we get Dan Thurman on this thing, we'll be killing it. Oh, this is the guy
Okay.
that did Dr. Friday. Yes, this is.
So Nate,
Oh, yes,
drop
that is me.
your handle in
Yeah,
Yeah,
drop
and
your
the
handle
Twitch.
in.
in YouTube.
Oh, on YouTube. Yeah, let me do that right now.
Well, I mean, I guess you could do it in Twitch. It'll still show up through YouTube, but everyone's on YouTube.
Yeah,
Oh,
I took
okay,
I took
cool.
everybody off Twitch because Twitch was giving me a little bit of issues. Plus, Twitch being more of a gaming affiliated platform, it didn't feel like the right area for the podcast to grow. So we shifted everything over to YouTube. And
You
it's
just
been
go to
really
a more
popular.
saturated and try to find your way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wondered about Twitch because like I have a Twitch, but I never really used it. I just was kind of like I did gaming.
It's for
videos
streaming
a while
games.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, and podcast only works if you already have a built community and you streamed games before, and so like you just started doing just chatting and you wanted to do a podcast that way. But it's really hard to grow a podcast without gaming on it. So
Okay.
Jordan said, "Don't forget to hit that like button." Heck yeah, hit that like button. I think it's on this side if you're on the mobile app.
Like,
This side on the mobile
subscribe.
app. Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Let's see. Giants can't wear my t-shirts because they're too big. My friend sent that in my sleep one time. I'll never forget it for as long as I live. I like Dark Phoenix. I sometimes talk in my sleep, but no one tells me what I say because they didn't want to listen. Oh my gosh.
Mac and Alex, they hear things all the
Mac,
time.
Mac,
Mac's
bro.
crazy.
The way he sleeps. All right, so my brother-in-law literally sleeps with his eyes open. It's the
That's weird.
creepiest thing in the world. Do you have a set date for Dan? Yes, Dan Thurman coming out May 12th. Tentatively. He's a busy man, so it's technically confirmed right now because I've been back and forth with his secretary. However, anything could happen between now and then, but set your calendar for Dan Thurman, May 12th, 8 p.m. That's what time he'll be here.
Yeah,
That's going to be a great podcast.
Drop that follow, Nate. Don't you worry.
Dude, thank you, bro.
I was speedy on that.
Preach, bro. Preach.
I'm already following you, I think. I'm
you are.
Yeah.
Lit, man. Appreciate it.
Make sure, are you on the YouTube page, Nate?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. Oh, okay. Let me keep up with some of these too.
Hit that subscribe button, boy.
So can we backtrack to? I got a couple questions to Nate. So what? All in all, what do you do, and how did you start doing it?
Oh, well, actually, I do filmmaking. First and foremost, just am a storyteller, and I've been telling stories, I guess, ever since I was a kid. And I love writing. I've always loved writing. I loved like just building worlds and telling stories with characters and things like that. So I would do it in whatever way I could as a kid. Like I would make stop motion videos and like with Legos and like puppets and whatever I could build. And then like I kind of grew a little bit bigger from that. I started just recording my friends. We'd like reenact scenes and like rip off like famous scenes from like movies and shit. And I just like make, and I would like make it my own. And for some reason, I mean, I love Star Wars so much. I would always just throw lightsabers into it. So
lightsabers.
You
gotta go grab the sword fights,
Yeah, exactly.
Change up the music.
Yeah, right. Like, and I would throw in those like those cheap like LimeWire like ripped off tracks like and from like movies like Harry Potter and things like that. But yeah, I had been doing that for a long time. But I was like, oh, I'm going to be a game developer. I thought I was going to be a game developer at least. So I started working in that space since middle school. And when I was like in middle school to high school, I was just doing like strictly game developing. I wasn't really like making that much movies. Like I'd make them if they were like side projects with friends or like for school and things like that. But like I didn't.
Did you do the coding? Did you do the coding for game development, or did you just do graphic? Oh, okay.
Weren't you working on a game the last time we talked?
Yeah, and I had to kind of put that on hold because of this thing that I'm currently working on. So now I can go back to that game probably this summer, like realistically, once I actually have like a solid, 3-part, 3-hour thing and like written out completely. And at that point, I will know exactly how I can shoot it. So at that point, like the rest of it's not easier, but it's just a different space. Like with writing, I have to be like, in that space. I have to be focused in that. Like that's the only thing that I'm doing. Mm-hmm. But once I get out of that, then I'm like, oh, now I can do things. And I didn't realize how to do that stuff. Like, cause when I started doing this stuff, it was like 18 when I was like, okay, I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to make a movie. And I had no idea how to do it. I was just like way too ambitious. So Dylan, you actually remember freshman year of college, like, in Russell, what I would do is I'd commute from Athens to Atlanta. And I was just like pretty much like every month I was like just out there like casting this movie that I was working on. I was like, oh shit, I actually get to do this. And I had really no clue like I guess like about the business side of film. Like I knew like, okay, I made stuff with my friends. And so I was just I knew from a background of like, oh, I have a few friends. We could just pick up a camera, we just shoot. But I didn't realize there were all these rules and all this like other shit, that like people are like, oh, well, it has to be like this, and I was working with a crew of like, I don't know, 15 people, something like that. And, they were like positions, they were departments. It was like wardrobe and costumes. And, that's different from the production design department. And, I didn't know all that stuff. So I was like all these people were coming up to me on my first day, like asking me questions. And they were like, what about this? What about that? And I was like, all these people I never met. And I was like, this would be good. This would be good. I was just making decisions on the fly. Like, I was like, that would be cool. And I was like, didn't really think about that, but sure, we're just going to go with this.
Heck
And
yeah.
I was like, and it was cool to see because it was like, it felt like a movie set. They had like the actors and, their area and things like that. And, when it came time to actually shoot the first shot, I like completely just fucked up because they were like calling all these commands like, oh, roll sound and roll camera. And here I was like every single time someone was talking, I was like, action, just like action, action. And they were like, wait, we have a procedure. Like,
hey, got to start somewhere though, right?
Yeah.
It's funny.
So how do you begin the storytelling process? Like, where do you begin? Like, how do you come up with the story? Like, do you make yourself sit down, or do you like look for inspiration in the world? Like, how do you do it?
How do it kind of comes at me just randomly. Like this movie actually, it came at me like while I was kind of on the third rewrite of a script that I was already working, like an action movie, kind of like this manga reality. And that was like a lot of fun, but I was kind of like, this is like a really big budget movie and I don't know if I can actually like do this right now.
Right.
So I kind of like was doing that rewrite, but this movie like that I was thinking of in my head just kind of kept coming at me like a dark fantasy. And I was really interested in exploring the idea of like some kind of interdimensional entity really fucking up people's lives. And I didn't know why I was attracted to that idea, but like people who like, at first it was like people who had like done something bad, and then it just kind of transformed. Well, maybe everybody's just like got this monster within them. And I don't know, but I kind of want to find out.
Ooh.
So that's when I just started sort of exploring. Like,
you hyping me up.
Yeah. So
that's
hyping
awesome.
me up, man. I'm excited for this. This sounds awesome.
Thank you.
So are you done with the script? Like,
well, I've written part one, like finished writing part one. I actually wrote an entire skeleton of the story, all 3 parts, but it's a whole skeleton. And like, when I was writing that skeleton at first, I was like, oh, this is going to be the movie script. But there was so much that was happening that I was like, I really need to spend some time telling this story. I can't just do it in like 90 minutes.
Right,
like I just felt like that was way too short. Because especially like the last act, it was like very like rushed and it was like, oh, there's all this stuff happening and really things was just going crazy. So I was like, I got to take my time with it. So that's when recently, like last week, I was like, I think I need to just do this as like 3 parts. So I've got all the acts planned out, but now I've like got part 1 finished, and that's like about like 50 something pages. So it's like an hour long.
Oh shoot.
Oh, that's awesome.
So do you write lines and scripts for each of the actors, or do you just kind of let them freestyle?
Oh, I usually write all the dialogue. I think, I mean, some stuff can change on set. And also one thing that helps too is like doing table reads. Like before I start, like I'll always do a table read right before we do production. So then I can actually just let the actors like say the lines and things like that. We just pick it apart. We like, figure out like, what is it we're really trying to say here in this scene? Can things go better? Can we and I always like to just play with it because I always do a table read with rehearsal. So like we just get to play with the script, play with scenes, figure out just every single piece of the character. And I will start rewriting lines and things like that after the table read, after the rehearsals. And I usually like will watch videos and things like that of the rehearsal footage. And then when it comes time to set, it's usually like just like this is how it's gonna be. Right. But like there will be like if something's not working, then I'm like, okay, yeah, we gotta fix something. Like I did that with the web series that I was on. I had to do a lot of rewriting for that on the fly because we just didn't have time to like shoot stuff. So like we pretty much had to like work together and coming up with some of the scenes even. Do
you work with method actors, like people that may
like stay in the role?
Like, yeah, do you like work with people that, I mean, you do more of the horror genre. Do you work with people that may take it too far sometimes? Like, like method acting?
Well, it's kind of interesting because the thing with actors is you have to know, like I always have to like know them really well, like the people I'm working with, to know how far they're gonna go. And like, I mean, but the thing about like the people who are really like, I'm gonna just go, I love that shit. So I really will write because I'm gonna go crazy too. I'm willing to go there. And like anybody who works with me knows I'm willing to just like go through the trenches or whatever with them. And in some situations, like stuff I currently write, like I'm gonna put myself in the movie too, even if I got to do some crazy ass shit, get naked or something like that in front of the camera. I'm willing to do it. So
Get that
like
screen time.
I know, like, and it depends on. It's like all about trust, like things like that. But like, I haven't had any people. I mean, I don't know if anybody's taken home like anything that they've worked on with me, like, and it's kind of stayed with them. Um, but I do know, like, I've worked with some really serious actors who, when they are on set, they're so focused and they're pretty much the character.
Yeah.
You're kind of talking to the character. They want to be like worked with that way.
Yeah, did you guys see the controversy that happened with Jared Leto? Like his whole take
Oh,
on
with
acting
the
with the Joker?
Joker?
Yeah, Shiglin, did you see
It was
that?
like the
No.
condoms and stuff like that.
Yeah, like the dude was like trying to method act the Joker. He was just like sending dead rats or dead head dead heads of rats or something like that to his colleagues.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Did you see
Yeah,
the
right.
documentary with Jim acting as Jim Carrey acting as Andy Griffin, I think?
Oh,
Andy
yeah, I
Griffith?
didn't see that.
Yeah, it's a really good one. Like if you haven't seen it, I gotta figure out what the documentary is called. But Jim Carrey does a documentary about Andy, and he gets so deep into method acting that he literally thinks he becomes Andy. And people around him say he was so into it that they thought he was Andy. And at some point, Andy's daughter or sister, they came to Jim while he was method acting for closure, like
Oh
because
shit.
Andy was already dead or something like that. It's
That's
really
crazy.
interesting. Yeah, it was very
Whoa,
interesting
that is
documentary.
really crazy.
Jim Carrey
That
knows what
sounds
he's
cool.
doing. That's why he's a top-notch actor.
So
Yeah.
Jordan asks,
Yeah.
do you have any advice for anyone who wants to be a storyteller or an actor?
Oh, I would say, and I know that this sounds like people have probably heard this a lot, but like when you actually just start doing the stuff, like if you start, I would say just start writing, just write whatever it is that comes to mind, and really like have fun with it. I would suggest. I think, I mean, I watched interviews and stuff of directors and like, storyteller writers and directors, but usually I love the ones who are writer directors because the directors will always be like, oh, the script is a blueprint, and I don't like to see it that way. I think the script is a story. So I really think if you start writing stories, especially if you want to be a director, I think you should be a writer first and start like writing, because then that's going to really help you know how to tell a story.
Yeah,
So
that
when
makes
it comes
sense.
time to when you're like directing, you're able to like pick the story apart. You can talk about the story with people. Like, I mean, that script is basically like, oh, it kind of is like you're creating the material off the page. And the story like the back of your hand too. So directors, like their job is to have a vision of and keep everybody on the same page. But like just literally writing is going to help you with editing. It's going to help you with directing. It'll help you with acting too. God, if you are an actor who's a writer as well, you are probably killing it, like just in every level. So, and you could easily direct. Like for one, I think if you're an actor and then you go to become a director, still like that's a really great thing. But if you also write, like there's just something about writing, I think that it just really gets to me. And I mean, I read books and stuff, and I would highly recommend read books, just
Taking
like
inspiration from all
fictional.
that.
Yeah, and even like watch some of these like YouTube videos and stuff that like are from directors, like Behind the Curtain. That's a YouTube channel, and then also Lessons from the Screenplay, where they actually like have the storytellers themselves talk about their stories, how it came to them, what inspired them, how they made it, the things that they like, things like that. And you're gonna just be inspired from just pretty much anything that you consume.
Awesome. I'm gonna read David's comment real quick, and then I have a question. Um, kind of based off of what you were. Um, David said, "My little brother used to sleep with his eyes open. Luckily, he outgrew it. I have a scary sleepwalking story of him if you want to hear it. Long story short, I woke up in the middle of the night and my brother, probably 8 at the time, was standing at my bed. This wasn't uncommon because he was a terrible sleepwalker. But he looked right at me and said, 'I've been waiting for you.' Oh shit, dude! I just got
Shit,
chills,
man.
bro. With
That
his
is
eyes
so crazy.
fucking open, creepiest thing ever. I almost burned him for being a witch.
Bird of
Oh my gosh. So
Damn.
going back, so we've had this conversation before in the last podcast, and I've asked several people this question. So you were talking about taking inspiration just a second ago from other people and, reading books, getting your hands on as much knowledge as you can to kind of generate, more ideas for stories. And so that brings up the question again. Is creativity dead? Is creativity or originality slowing down?
No.
So have we
Absolutely
thought
not.
about this question more since the last time we talked?
I mean, I can kind of tell you, I guess, some of my thoughts on that too, like at least some more about it.
Okay.
Because yeah, creativity, I don't think is dead. If anything, I think creativity is spawned from really just any life experience. So it could be reading a book, it could be, and reading a book is actually a great way, I think, to inspire you creatively, because you're not necessarily, even if you have the images of the book like in your head, it's never going to be the same as somebody else's interpretation of the book.
Right.
So already right then and there, you're imagining, a person and things and events like unfolding before you in your own way. So that already is creating a creative muscle, or like spawning a creative muscle. And then on top of that, like if you're like reading books and stuff, you're reading kind of somebody, I like it as a looking at them like peeking into somebody's mind, like you're really reading their life in a way, like, or what they're kind of telling you, like
Right.
people that they know, but really every single character, I would argue that somebody writes in a story is a piece of them. And so because you're like reading all this stuff and it feels real, if you like it and you're like into that book, like I was rereading Harry Potter the other day, and like, God, that book is so good. The way that J.K. Rowling, like, even though it's a magical world, the way she describes the people and stuff like that, like
My wife
all the events
loves
unfolding,
Harry Potter. Oh my gosh.
perfect. I mean, that
She's
was my
obsessed.
childhood.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like it's so good.
She's
Like,
obsessed with it.
yeah.
It's one of the few books I read actually. Like
Really?
I tried to read the whole series and I got a little ways into it. I had all the books as a kid, but I stopped becoming a reader.
So
Oh wait, why?
I hate reading.
Why?
I hate because a lot of things just aren't interesting. Like I gotta find something that's worth reading, but then I get bored of just sitting there and looking at words. I would rather do something
I've gotten into
other than
audiobooks. Audiobooks definitely.
see.
It's
That's
definitely a
more.
step
That's
up
like
for me.
that's like a podcast, but more vivid.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
That's what I would
Okay.
think.
I
I could
process-
listen to it.
Yeah, I process words better than I see them. Like I can process them, hearing them with that sense than I do visual sense. Obviously, I mean,
Interesting.
you listen to me reading the comments. I freaking stutter. I'm dyslexic. I'm stupid. Like I
Dude, I
can't
love
do
that. I
it.
love that kind of stuff though. Like, I mean, do y'all ever like if you okay, so do you guys ever just like try reading books out loud and stuff like that? I mean, I love reading screenplays out loud just because even though those are supposed to be
I did in
read out
school.
loud, you read books out loud?
Yeah, we were forced to though. It wasn't by my own choosing.
Wait, did you like doing it?
I mean, I liked speaking, so yeah, but it wasn't something that like I wanted to do.
Okay, well, like I think it's kind of cool because when you are reading that book, you are the storyteller. You're the one who's telling me that story. So like the
Yeah.
way you tell that story is gonna affect me.
Your
Okay,
tone.
So here's the thing, though. Like, if we're talking about creativity, there's only so many ways that you can tell a story, right? Like, there's not an infinite number of possibilities. So I think the list, which I didn't have the last time, types.
Well, what do you mean by a finite number?
I got you. So there are 7 distinct types of storytelling, which the first one is overcoming the monster. The story, it's like Beowulf. Think Beowulf, or David of Goliath. There's rebirth, like a story of renewal. There's the quest, the journey, rags to riches, tragedy, and comedy. Like, so all storytelling falls in some sort of those categories.
Or
So-
both or multiple.
Or multiple. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I can alter the content. It's like music. Like, I'm not going to be able to create a new note because the notes are fixed. Like, I have 12 distinct notes going from from A to, not to 12 distinct, but basically an octave for 12 notes. But I have A to G. Those are my notes. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And you got the sharps and the flats in there. But we're not going to get too technical. But now I have to come up with a finite amount of possibilities or combination for these things. So at a
that's
certain point,
creativity.
right? That's creativity, right? But there's still a finite number of combinations that you can make. So my assumption is now that we have the internet and social media, where ideas and creativity can kind of be blasted on such a grand global stage, is that creativity, we might be seeing the combinations, like we might be seeing all the combinations as is right now. And that's why I think we're going to be on a creative renaissance in the next couple of years, or maybe in like 30 years or something like that, is because I think that we'll get tired and those things will get dull and we'll create like a new system. I think that there will be that need or that push to create more. I think it's slowing down right now for sure, but I do think that there's going to be like a sort of creative renaissance coming up.
Wait, why do you think it's slowing down?
Specifically because of social media, specifically because of the ease of access and the saturation levels of creativity. Like, again, storytelling. We've come up with all the possible combinations of storytelling. And
I don't
now
think so.
you don't think that we've come up with like a different kind of narrative to tell?
No.
No?
I don't think we can't come to that. I think we can. Matter of fact, I think really just if you see like a lot of the stuff that's being made now, especially when it comes to, I mean, really in quarantine, you look at all this kind of crazy shit that people are doing in quarantine, just making videos and things like that. Like they're kind of just doing these like original, like new kind of crazy stuff.
Right.
Like, but and that's in a way storytelling, or at least it can be, like depending on the kind of thing that you're making.
Right.
Well, to Dylan's point, there's a lot of people that can create that, but then there's thousands of times more people that will copy that. So it's not, there are people that are creative that can go to that outer reach into the different creative world, but there's too many people that are followers and not enough creators.
I think.
Well, do y'all think that the people though that copy, like you think that, like, is it just like rehashing like literally the same stuff, or are they just doing their own kind of interpretation of that?
It could
I
be doing
think
their
as
own kind
far I think as far as social media goes, it's a lot of repetitive people doing what other people are doing because it's a popular thing to do. Like TikTok, for example. I hate TikTok, not a big fan. That is not creative.
Well, there are
Oh,
some
you don't think
aspects
so?
of creativity towards
See,
I think
okay,
it
yeah,
can
but
be,
like
right?
90% of it is people copying what the first person did.
I'll agree with
Everything
that. Yeah.
all leads back to the first person that made it. That one person is a creative person and they can go to that outer reach, but everybody else is a follower. Most of most of the high school, college girls that take TikTok videos are followers.
Doing the same dances over and over again
Yes.
repetitively.
They're
My
not creating something.
my
Yeah,
point
okay.
is more towards like the structure in which things are oriented, or the structure in which things or storytelling is generated, right? So it's not the actual content, and there are different ways that you can switch up the contents of the story. But for example, if we take the genre of superhero, right? There's so many ways you could tell a superhero genre. There's not an infinite number of ways that you can tell a superhero genre. I mean, they have a protagonist, they have an antagonist, they either overcome a conflict, they rebirth, they go on a journey, they're the underdog. I mean, it's a tragedy, it's a rebirth, or it's overcoming the monster. Or all the above, or comedy. I mean, those are the 7 types of storytelling that we actually have identified. Like there is an article and there is like in literature, this is the 7 types of story that almost all storytelling falls up under. I do believe that there could be possibly more categories. However, I don't think we've made it to that realm yet. I don't want to believe creativity is dead. I don't believe creativity or originality is dead at the moment. I think there will be a creative renaissance in the future, though. Does that make sense? Did I explain that?
Well, so the way I kind of see it is like those 7 types that like, yeah, I think that those, it's kind of like a nice broad sense of like categorization, because there's all like subcategories and stuff you can get into, like monster in the house, monster in the universe, or something. Like it could be like alien, things like that. But also, like, I think tragedy, comedy, things like that, like even just genre, like if you're confining things to genre, it's like, okay, well, how does that make you feel? Like I feel like we have like certain emotional experiences that we can like place those categories in. But I think in terms of stories, though, I mean, as long as there are humans, like everybody's gonna have a different story. So that's like, I guess maybe it is technically a finite number, because it's just a finite amount of people that live on this planet that can communicate these experiences. But like, you could say like, oh, that is a tragedy and a comedy combined, because there were some tragic moments in that story, but it was also pretty funny. Like
Right.
a show like Atlanta, things are tragic in that show. But it's also hilarious, strangely hilarious too. Like,
Right. So that would fall into the tragedy comedy section.
right. But it's creative though, or it's totally.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm picking up what you're putting down here.
Okay,
It's
cool.
see
Yeah.
there are certain aspects, but the creativity is in the production, not in the I guess flow or style. Is
Yeah.
that
I
what
mean,
you're trying to say?
basically, yeah, in terms of what you were saying with production, like creative, yeah, in terms of how you can tell that story, like how you can tell like a story that has those experiences. I feel like the story comes first, the categories and experiences come after that.
Right. Okay. I mean, that's a fair assessment. Let me go back to some of these comments right now. I've been slowly, I just shit up. I've been slowly writing my own book for the past 6 years. Might not ever finish it. Who knows, dude? Get on it, bro. Get on it. Don't
Yo,
stop.
write that book, because
Yeah, for real.
I want to read. I like reading books, so I
I'm-
want to. I want to. Honestly, though, like the thing about too, like how I feel like it's very, very important, especially if you're like somebody who's like, I want to write a book. I think it's very, very important that you do that, because you have no idea who that can help. I mean, the books that I've read, like I just recently read Invisible Man, and like that book affected me on new levels. That like inspired me on new levels. I didn't even know you could tell a story like that. One, two, I mean, it felt so personal, even though it's a fictional story. Like, but everything felt very personal to me. And it was narrated in first person too. So it felt even more personal. You didn't even know the narrator's name, which I loved about that. So like the ambiguity, sorry, I messed that up.
Yeah, you're
But
good.
ambiguity of it is that there is no name to the narrator. So therefore the narrator is you. And I felt like I was basically seeing the story in the world in Harlem, and even Georgia. Like this dude came from Georgia and moved to Harlem. Like even more personal, like growing up in Georgia, like I could relate to all these experiences that he was happening. And like that kind of helps you see the world. I mean, like actually talking to people, reading from people and things like that, like it can really change the world. Like it changes you every day.
Interesting. I like that. Damn, I need to read more.
Yeah.
Telling y'all.
The art TikToks are amazing. Strickland, do you hear about the actual creators of the Renegade dance? Her dance got followed by a popular TikToker, and she got famous for it, while the creator got nothing. Not even credit.
Yeah, was it the girl that was at the NBA game that started dancing, doing TikTok dances? Because I saw that girl, but I don't think she was. I don't know. She might have been the fake person that made it. I don't know.
What happened here?
No, like, so basically the NBA brought up some TikTok girl that like created something or was said to create something, and I think it might have been her, what she's talking about right now. Like she created a dance, or she took somebody else's dance but got popular off of it,
Mm.
and then she got all the credit for it.
Oh, I
All right,
think I heard
David.
about this.
Thank you for tuning in, buddy. I appreciate it. We've had a great conversation tonight. Thank you
Thanks,
for
David.
participating,
Oh,
bud.
sick. Yeah, thank you, David.
See ya.
Good night,
All right.
man. Good luck.
I'm sorry. I'm probably about to get off too. I
Well-
got some homework to
Well,
do
honestly, we've been streaming
for
total
100
an
minutes.
Yeah, an hour and a
Sick.
half. Since Nate got on, we've streamed for longer than an hour now. So we've
An
actually
hour and 10 minutes.
we've passed our time limit. So
Ooh, wow.
I appreciate everybody tuning in. Nate, thank you so much for coming out, bud.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Dude, Strickland, it was great meeting you, man. Like,
It's been
that was
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, that
And
was an
Dylan,
awesome
dude,
conversation.
appreciate it.
We got to keep in touch for sure because I got a couple questions for you outside of this. So,
Okay, for sure, man. Shoot them my way, dude. Hit me up on Instagram.
Yeah, you got
Awesome.
the Instagram now, so everybody make
Yeah.
sure you drop that follow since he posted that. So, Nate, again, I'll keep you for a second once I close off the podcast. But everybody, thank you so much for coming out. I appreciate it. Yeah, that was the girl that stole it from her. The girl made a video about it. Luckily, Ellen brought the creator on the show. Nathan, good to see you.
Oh, good to see you too, bro. Del, yeah, thank you, man.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much.
see y'all.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for daydreaming. Good night.